Awesome. We are live. Hello. How are you, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. I am just getting something posted on the socials so people will know that we are live. How's everyone doing? Here's what we're posting. It'll have the link to the stream. Today, well, I might as well explain what I'm doing today. It's not going to be gaming related, so to speak. What we are doing today is some tier lists. I know people love tier lists. I was asking myself what is something really scary that I can do, and on the internet specifically, there's nothing more scary than an opinion that is different from your own, that disagrees with you. So I thought to myself, hey, dog's gone crazy. That's almost as scary as dissenting opinions, I suppose. Anyway. I love my dogs. What was I saying? So we're gonna be doing some tier lists. That is what we're doing today. I hope nothing I say is all too controversial. Okay. Sorry, that took forever, and now we're already 6 minutes in. We haven't even started. What the heck? Anyway, let's go to candy. Let's talk candy. Let's be real. Let's talk Halloween candy. Candy is very important to me. I love candy, and I will spend some time with this because I do want to. I didn't name this Elite. Let's get rid of Elite. Let's delete that row. I think there's only 4 levels of candy anyway. There's A, B, C, and Puke. When it comes to candy, I like candy. I'm a little bit particular though. I mean, some of these aren't even candy, they're just cookies. This is like a sweets tier list. Like Halloween sweets tier list. 100 Grand Bar. One of those kinds of candies that you like what's on the inside, but it sticks to the roof of your mouth. There's an inconvenience to that. I think it is a B tier candy for me. I think what's holding it back is the inconvenience that comes with the candy. Three Musketeers is C. It's boring. It's like eating a Snickers but without the good stuff. I'll just show my opinion real quick on some of these. It's almost kind of like a ladder. Your Snickers, any variation of Snickers is fantastic. The peanut butter one is actually the greatest candy of all time. There's no inconvenience there. If I received Snickers on Halloween, I'd be very happy. Babe Ruth is like Snickers, but they took out some of the good parts of the Snickers. I think it's literally just the caramel and the nougat. And then what they did with Three Musketeers was they said, hey, you know how they took the good part out of Snickers to make a Babe Ruth? What if we took out the next best thing in a Babe Ruth and made this candy just called Three Musketeers? The Three Musketeers is not a good piece of candy. It is literally just chocolate and nougat. They took 2 things out of there. That's how many creative liberties they thought they could take with this candy bar. I care a lot about this. Airheads. I like Airheads. There's some flavors that I don't like as much, but I think generally it's a pretty good candy. It's the only thing is it's a little bit inconvenient, kind of like the 100 Grand Bar, but it takes slightly less brain power to eat than a 100 Grand Bar, I'd say. It's just a hard piece of candy, especially when it's cold. Almond Joy, I think this is going to be controversial. I think Almond Joy is an A tier candy, despite the massive almond in the middle, which I think is maybe the worst part about it. It is a very good chocolate and coconut candy. If I'm analyzing this, if I'm trying to be partial about candy, which is, I think, impossible, I think the Almond Joy is just a generally good piece of candy. That's all there is to it, really. Big League Chew, I have a little bit of a problem with considering gum candy. I think gum is kind of its own thing, because you don't really eat it like candy. I'll put it right here, because I think Big League Chew in general, I think is actually kind of good. In my opinion, if I received gum on Halloween, I guess I would want it to be one of these, but gum to me is not candy. Bottle caps are a B. They're like sweet tarts, but not as good. But I still find myself wanting them more than either of these. Bottle caps, and there's going to be many candies on here that are like this, is like eating chalk. It's very chalky, there's just different flavors of chalk here. and none of them are really all that fantastic. Not a lot of flavor in any of these little things. I'd much rather receive an Airhead or a Rio Grande, a 100 grand bar. Butterfinger, I think, ranks above these two for me because it is a peanut butter candy, and when it comes to candy, peanut butter candy ranks supreme. Peanut butter candy is the best candy. Let's be real. Let's level with each other. If you don't like peanut butter candy, I don't want to know you. Sorry. This is going to be very hot take, but I actually like candy corn, and I would much rather receive or eat candy corn than any of these 5 things. I like candy corn, even though it's basically plastic, but I like candy corn, and I'm not ashamed to say it. This is like eating chalk. This is like eating candy necklaces are like eating bottle caps, but worse. Because bottle caps actually do have some flavor. A candy necklace, every single piece of candy on there is the same flavor. They're different colors, which might make you seem to think that they are different flavors. They're not. The big candy necklace as an industry is trying to deceive you. So sorry, I hate to break it to you. Candy necklaces are not good. Actually, they're worse than Three Musketeers. Candy necklaces are puke tier. Chunky I haven't had. Packing peanuts I haven't had. Packing peanuts. I meant circus peanuts. Crunch. Crunch is up here. It's like the Hershey's bar, but made so much better because of the crunchy rice. Crunchy rice and chocolate is also king. Same with peanut butter. If you have a candy that has chunky, like crispy rice, did I say chunky rice? Crispy rice is very delicious. Yeah, I feel very steadfast in this. Not quite Snickers good, but it is better than Almond Joy. Dots. Dots are here. In the same vein that 100 grand and Airhead seem to take many, many neurons of your brain to eat, Dots are kind of the same way, but not nearly as good as either of them. And I would much rather even receive a Three Musketeers than receive Dots on Halloween. It is not a good candy. Dove chocolate, I think chocolate on its own as Halloween candy, I think it's very boring. However, Dove is better than Hershey's. Hubble Bubble, that is puke here. Like gum, again, is not candy, even if it's wrapped like this. Candy corn? I knew it would be controversial, but I like candy corn, and I like it a lot. You don't eat gum. You chew gum, and then you spit it out. You don't leave it underneath tables, because that's gross and disrespectful, but gum is not candy. Bubba is good bubble gum. It makes good bubbles if you like to blow them. Okay, this is very personal. I'm going to share something very personal. I cannot blow bubbles in bubble gum, and it's very hard for me to even admit that, because I feel like everyone can blow bubbles with bubble gum. I cannot. I've never been capable of blowing bubbles with bubble gum. So please excuse my hatred of gum for a little bit. Gum as food is a little piece of rubber that is flavored and loses all of that flavoring upon entering your mouth after about, let's say, 5 seconds, and then you spit it out. So no, gum is not candy. I have a little bit of a personal vendetta about it. It's not good. You'll teach me? My opinion might change if I ever learn. Bubblegum is better than regular gum, I think, on its own, too. Because otherwise, the bubble, even though I can't blow it, I'll give it some fairness. That is pretty cool. I think these are dum-dums. I like lollipops. I think they're here for me. Thank you. I appreciate your offer to teach me how to blow bubbles with gum. It might be a little bit hard to and bring up a little bit of pain, but I think my opinion could change. I'm open to learning, but I don't think I'm as open to being hurt, you know. Fun Dip, it's here for me. No, it's here because Fun Dip is almost kind of like the same as eating chalk. However, it's very ingenious what they did, because when you put the stick for Fun Dip in your mouth, you can eat the sugar that's in the bag, and that is cool. There's no other candy, I think, that's like that. It's not very good, but Fun Dip is one of those kind of weird sort of candies that I think I would not be upset if I got that on Halloween. Gobstoppers, candy should not be a chore, and as much maintenance as there is eating a 100 grand bar or something like an Airhead, a Gobstopper, you have to literally, it's almost like, I would say it's like eating a landmine. Because it's a jawbreaker. It's less of a risk than actually eating a jawbreaker, but when you're eating Gobstoppers, it's hard to know when that thing is soft enough to chew into. Also, gobstoppers in the film, I think this is a bit of false advertising. Gobstoppers were supposed to be everlasting. If you've ever seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, it's everlasting gobstoppers. This is, again, one of those Wonka candies. They last maybe a minute. That's not everlasting. Why do you call them everlasting gobstoppers? You chew into them, you either break your teeth, or after 5 seconds, it's like mushy, chocolatey, not chocolatey, mushy, sugary goo. Gummy worms can go here. I think, again, it's like the candy necklace, where every single piece is the same flavor. It's the same thing with gummy worms, but gummy worms are more tolerable. There's something fun about thinking you're eating a worm. Well, I guess you can quote me on that. I would never eat a regular worm, but gummy worms as a candy, it wouldn't be the worst thing. Gummy bears, I think, are kind of the same deal, except I think Haribo has done a very good job differentiating their flavors. It's just, again, it's like if your candy is too cold, there's a lot of maintenance that goes into eating it. Actually, I do think they're better than... I actually like them more than all these. Gummy bears I do like, and I actually do think they're different flavors. It's not like gummy worms, where everything says technically 2 flavors, but they're all technically the same. Heath bar is a toffee bar, and I like it a lot. Hershey's white chocolate. White chocolate is technically not chocolate, if I'm not mistaken. It's just sugar. It is better than Chips Ahoy, though, I'd say. This actually is the cookies and cream one, which is really good. I would say the Hershey's cookies and cream exceeds the any other Hershey's chocolate. Hershey's Kisses, there's so many different flavors. It's here for me. Actually, no, it's better than Babe Ruth. It's just chocolate, and for that, I would put it in B. Now, regular Hershey's goes right here for me, and this is dark chocolate Hershey's. Dark chocolate's better. It's more bitter, obviously, and then it's less sugar kind of overall. So I would put it over these Dove bars. Actually better than Air. Actually, it's right here. It's right here. The dark chocolate Hershey's. But Hershey's is just chocolate. It is just a regular chocolate bar. Hubba Bubba, I would much rather receive than either of these. Because if we're talking about gum, yes, I bring gum back up because it's on the list. Hubba Bubba, again, it's a better flavored gum than something like Big League Chew, Bubble Bubble, and it's kind of fun. It comes in its own container. It's like rope almost, but again, it's gum. Gum's not candy. Icebreakers, that's definitely not candy. I'm not even putting that up there. Even though I've had icebreakers, jelly beans are one of the greatest candies of all time. There's so many flavors of jelly beans. 90% of them are winners. You can eat these any day of the year, and they're still good. It's perfect. There's a little bit of something for everybody in jelly beans. Jolly Ranchers are here for me. No, they're above Hershey's, just plain Hershey's, because Jolly Ranchers feels like it could be the Jawbreaker, which again is like eating a landmine, because you never know how soft it is, and especially with a big Jawbreaker, because that sucker is not getting in your mouth anyway. Look at this thing. It's a big, hard ball. It's a rock. You're putting a rock in your mouth if you're eating a Jawbreaker. Jolly Ranchers, again, it's hard in the sense that it's kind of like Gobstoppers or Jawbreaker. Jolly Ranchers is actually chewable. It won't make you go to the dentist, but it's not necessarily a very pleasant candy, I'd say. Junior Mints are good. I actually like Junior Mints. I don't know if that's controversial, but I do like mintier candies. I think if there's a York peppermint patty on here, it's actually a little bit better, but these are basically the same thing. Kit Kat goes here for me. Kit Kat is awesome. A wafer cookie covered in chocolate, yes please, and most of the flavors are really good too. There's a lot of variety in the Kit Kat, and it's just a good candy bar overall. Crackle is like Crunch, but smaller most of the time, I think. And if you want a Crunch bar, you want a Crunch bar. No one's like, oh, I want a Crackle. No, they say, I want a Crunch. But Crackle is still very good. Laffy Taffy is like Airhead in the sense that it is hard to eat these. They're very hard, even it's supposed to be like a chewy, stretchy candy. And the flavors, I think, feel a bit more artificial, which is why I don't want to put it above Dove chocolate. And each one comes with a joke, too, so that's really nice. It's a candy that wants you to feel good, you know? It's very well-intentioned candy. Lemon Heads can be chewy, and I like lemon as a flavor. Lifesaver Gummies, which I think go here, because it's like gummy bears. I mean, in the sense that they're different flavors, but I don't know. I think gummy bears, there's a bit more novelty to them, whereas, actually, you can wear these on your fingers, so they do rank a little bit better. And now regular Lifesavers is kind of like eating rocks almost, but not in a terrible way. So for me, they're B tier, but they're less far down than their gummy counterparts. Regular M&Ms, for me, it's just chocolate again, but it's like, hey, what if you made chocolate for kids, but it was like popping pills? So for me, it's like it's better than this stuff, but it's still just chocolate. And I'm only considering regular M&Ms for this. Mike and Ike. Now that's genuinely, that's popping pills. And for me, that's better than gummy worms. I think actually that's better than Babe Ruth, which I'm moving down to here. Milk Duds are puke tier, similar to Dots. They're like chocolate dots almost, I'd say, in the sense that they're small pieces of candy that are hard to eat. Milky Way is everything that Babe Ruth wanted to be. So it's bottom of B. It's still not very good. It's clearly an inferior Snickers, but it is better than, I think actually, because I think Babe Ruth has peanuts, right? It does have peanuts. So to that capacity, Babe Ruth is actually better than Milky Way. Mounds is dark chocolate Almond Joy, and in my opinion, that makes it much better. Mounds is basically Almond Joy, but better because it's dark chocolate and it still has that coconut. Now I see Smarties next, and I think what I'm going to contradict myself in the sense that it's like, oh, all of the pieces of the candy necklace are the same flavor. All of the bottle caps are kind of the same flavor. I think Smarties as a candy, I think that Smarties is up there because I'd say it's way up there, honestly. What is this? Nerds Rope? I think that's a Nerds Rope. Nerds Rope is weird but fun to eat. I do like a Nerds Rope. It's a fun piece of candy. Nerds themselves also very good. A lot of these candies are just sugar. These are like sugar rocks in a box. Payday is too salty to be considered candy to me. I think they salt them. This is, I think, just slightly puke. And I feel bad because I think it's a candy that's doing its best. But the one time I had Payday as a kid, it was salty, and that completely threw me off. The Payday that I had was so salty that it really kind of ruined it for me. Your peanut M&Ms are great. So much more superior to the regular M&M. It's just a good piece of candy. They took the M&M and they made it better. What can I say? What do you want to hear? These little after dinner mints that are at every single restaurant front desk that you've ever been to. It's an alright piece of candy. It's not very high tier for me, but I do like mint. I just think that these little things, I would be really disappointed if I got them when I was trick-or-treating. Pez as a candy on its own is not very good, but they do come in fun containers. I would put Pez right here. I think it's still kind of like eating chalk. I'm going to do Red Vines and Twizzlers together because I feel like they are the same thing with a slight difference in enjoyment. And what I'm about to say I think will be very unpopular. I think that Twizzlers are better than Red Vines. I think people say that, oh, Red Vines taste more like fruit. I honestly kind of like that Twizzlers are shitty in comparison to their other licorice counterpart. For me, Twizzlers are right up here and Red Vines are right here. They're very much the same thing with a slight difference in flavor. And for me, the Twizzlers are better, even though I think most people would say that they don't taste as good. I will die on that hill. That is the hill that I'll die on. Now, we get to the king. First off, best candy ever. It's not even close. I love jelly beans. Sorry, jelly beans. It's a peanut butter and chocolate candy. It's fantastic. Butterfinger, the only reason Butterfinger would be lower than jelly beans is because Butterfingers, I feel like, are a bit harder. As a peanut butter and chocolate candy, you want it to just be like a soft... And for that, I think Reese's. It's the best. Reese's Minis. I mean, that's right after Reese's. It's just the son of Reese's. The child of Reese's. Reese's Jr. Reese's Pieces. I like them a lot. I think they go right. This is the weird cousin of Reese's that Reese's doesn't like to talk about at the family dinners. It's good. It's very well-meaning, but it's not this. It's like eating M&Ms, like regular M&Ms with peanut butter in them. And I love peanut butter and chocolate together. It's one of the greatest marriages of foods of all time. But Reese's Pieces is not nearly as good as just eating a regular Reese's or Reese's Mini Peanut Butter Cup. Ring Pop is more than candy, it's fashion. And for that, it's like eating a lollipop on your finger, really, I'd say. Well, it's Ring Pop, so yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate. I would put it right here. You can wear it around town or whatever you want to do. Rolo is here. In the same vein that like Milky Way is just like it's smaller Milky Way basically, but for some reason I feel like it's harder to eat than a regular Milky Way. So for me, in terms of Halloween candy, yeah, it's going right here. Runts, it's like Gobstoppers in a way because it's these little tiny hard fruit-shaped candies that are impossible to chew. Like it's impossible to eat these without thinking that, you know, you're gonna crack your tooth down the middle. I think what separates it from Jolly Ranchers is Jolly Ranchers feel like when you taste a Jolly Rancher, it tastes a bit more authentic than a Runt. That's what it feels like to me. Saltwater taffy, that's fun. It's very hard to eat, but there's a lot of different flavors. So for me, that goes like right down here. Skittles, that's the M&Ms from the alternate dimension where there's no chocolate, there's only fruit. I would put them right beneath here. I don't think Skittles are all that great. Skittles, not my favorite candy. Sour gummy worms. This is gummy worms, but made infinitely better. For me, sour gummy worms are right here. It is the gummy worms taken in the right direction. Again, many different colors, all of which are the same flavor, but they're sour, which is better than a regular gummy worm. Sour Patch Kids are kind of like eating gummy worms, but less fun. Sour gummy worms. Now, if we're talking about Sour Patch watermelons, those go way up. I mean, that's better than candy corn. I'd actually put that up in A, but since it's just Sour Patch Kids, it's not quite as good. Sour Skittles is Skittles, but a little bit better. I think they go here. It's different from like the gummy worm to sour gummy worm thing because it's fun to feel like, again, don't quote, well, you can quote me on it, but it would probably be fun to eat a worm if you're a bird. And I can imagine if you're a human eating a sour gummy worm, that's kind of fun too. Sour Skittles is a different step up from regular Skittles, and I just don't think Skittles are all that good. Starburst is one of those candies that is hard to eat when you have them cold, but I think the flavors are good enough that they would rank higher than Sour Skittles for me. I think they're right there. Raisins are not candy, but raisins are good. I would actually much rather see raisins than anything in puke tier. I'll put raisins here. No, here. I actually think I like raisins, and I would not be upset if I got them as Halloween candy. Raisins could honestly be better than these two as well, if I'm being honest. But it's not candy. Swedish Fish, that's lower than raisins for me, honestly. I don't like Swedish Fish. I think they're all the same. They're all very boring. It's just kind of very gross, gummy, sugary stuff. So I think it's above Runts for me. But it feels weird just having Hershey's be... Well, no. No, I feel good with that just being there. That's disrespectful if you just give someone Hershey's. Sweet Tarts are just better bottle caps. It's almost like a sour bottle cap. So that's why it's like right here. These look like Blow Pops, which if you're talking about lollipops, that goes in A. I mean, that's better than... It's gum, again, which is not candy, but it's a little prize at the end of your lollipop. For me, a Blow Pop is a better candy than candy corn. Tootsie Rolls are puke here. Actually worse, because you can actually chew through gum. You can't chew through a Tootsie Roll. It's solid chocolate. It's like chocolate if it was put in the petrification machine or whatever it is in Star Wars that they put Han Solo in episode 5. That's what happens if you put chocolate into that. You get a Tootsie Roll. So no, Tootsie Rolls are puked here. They're absolutely awful. Toxic Waste? Well, that's not candy. That's no. Tropical Skittles, I think is what this is next. It's Skittles. It's not really spectacular. Now Twix. Twix is the silver second place trophy holder in terms of candy, Halloween candy for me. It's cookie, it's caramel, I think there's some nougat in there too. It's so good. How could you not love a Twix? It's better than jelly beans for me, honestly. As someone who loves jelly beans, it's hard for me to say, but Twix is better than jelly beans. Warheads are puke here. This is not candy. This is a Geneva Convention violation in candy form. Yeah, no, this should not exist. Fruit snacks. Who doesn't love fruit snacks? I actually love fruit snacks. More so than Skittles, if I'm being honest. Here. No, it's fine. I like fruit snacks. They're alright. It's not candy, but it's still better than raisins. These are almost fashion. They can't fit on any fingers unless you have sticks for fingers, but that's what differentiates Lifesavers from Welch's fruit snacks. And then I have 2 more candies that I've had. The ones that won't go on here are just the ones that I haven't had. Werther's Original are caramels, but it's just caramel. So for me, it's down here. I'd much rather have chocolate without caramel than just caramel on its own. And Whoppers our puke tier. This is the inferior, this is the American version of the malt ball, and if you've had a malt ball, generally they're pretty good. But as far as Whoppers go, they are plastic. They are plastic straight through. This is the English version of the Whopper. The Malteser is much better because you can actually taste chocolate. It's not plastic. So perhaps if, we had never left the British monarchy, we would still have Maltesers. And I can think of a lot of reasons to not have separated and to have had a revolution and gotten rid of the monarchy. There's obviously a lot of positives to that, but one of the negatives is that we missed out on Maltesers. So to that end, I think, we could have had the Maltesers, but instead we have Whoppers, which is disgusting candy. So this is my candy tier list for Halloween. If you disagree, obviously, you can leave some opinions below. Keep it respectful. That's going to be it. I thought I was going to go through these a lot quicker.